All right, you have a good understanding of the five essential elements of music, but now you got to bring them all together so that you can start developing your unique voice and start dominating in your music career. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to do just that. Let's jump in. Hey everyone, it's Rex from the Maze Music Academy, where I help musicians just like you level up your music making so you can find success in your music career. Welcome to part 7, the final part of my series on the 5 essential elements of music, where we're going to bring all the elements together to see how you can use them to start dominating in your music career. Now, if you haven't seen the earlier videos, I highly recommend that you hit the pause button and check those out first before you watch this video so you can get the full context of what's going on. Now, I'll put all the links to those videos in the description below. All right, I'd like to start by congratulating you on making it this far. I know we covered a whole lot of ground in a short amount of time, but I'm hoping that as you watch those previous videos that you started to get some new ideas on how to look at music using these different elements to help get better at listening and better at making your own music. And in this video, I just want to touch on that and dig a little bit deeper just to kind of send you off with some strategies on how to use these 5 elements to really start enhancing your own music making. Now, I just want to emphasize that this video series was really just meant to give you the seeds to help you start growing a better and deeper knowledge of these key components of music, because each of them is really critical to understand in order to continue to improve your listening and eventually your music making, so that you can just get better and better and better with each piece that you write, each piece that you perform, every project that you produce. I want you to use these elements to just get better and better and better. And it's really just a circle. You build this knowledge so that you can listen more to the pieces and the music that you like to listen to, and then incorporate that into your music making through performance and composition. And then you just kind of keep learning more knowledge, and then you listen more and you build more music. And it's just a cycle. And you should really, that's the whole point of this, is to keep getting into that positive feedback loop so that you keep deepening your knowledge, increasing your critical listening skills, and ultimately improve your music making so that you can have more and more success in a career in the music industry. So the first practical piece of advice I want to give you and how to use this knowledge is to first grab some kind of journal. I'm a big fan of journaling and writing down your ideas and what you're learning about, because it helps you go back and really reflect on the things you're listening to, the knowledge you're growing. And it's just a really good strategy. So grab that journal, grab something to write with, and then start actually active listening to the pieces of music that you really want to emulate. So if you want to be a video game composer, you need to really listen to video game music. If you want to be a film composer, watch a lot of movies, listen to the music. If you want to, write rock songs or pop songs, listen to those genres that you really enjoy. Whatever it is, you want to start listening in that genre so that you can start building an ear for the flavors and the different elements that they're using in those different styles. And then what I want you to do is start writing down your observations. And a good way to do it is to break it down by SHMRF, by the sound, harmony, melody, rhythm, and form, the 5 essential elements of the music that you're listening to. And just jot down some notes. And again, the cool thing about this is that you can be just a starter musician. You don't really have to know a whole lot of anything yet. You just write down your general perceptions of the things we talked about. Is what are the sounds they're using? They have a lot of heavy electric guitars. They're using a lot of lush string sounds. I can hear a cello in there somewhere. I can hear brass instruments. I hear a lot of synthesizers. Just write that kind of stuff down. Go back, listen to the harmonies and the melodies. It seems pretty bright. It seems pretty happy sounding. The melody is really soaring. It makes a lot of big leaps at the climactic part. Talk about the rhythm. There's a really good beat. I want to tap my toes to it. It's very sparse. There's not a whole lot going on. And then what's the form? What's the journey? What's the story that the music is taking you on? And you don't have to have any music knowledge to be able to kind of describe those things. And then as you learn more and more about music, you learn a little bit more about music theory, about what different chords are, what different scales are, how rhythm and time signatures work. Start to get into more technical descriptions of what you're hearing. It sounds like they're using a lot more brass and woodwind instruments when they have this character on screen, and string instruments when you're using this character on screen. For harmony, they're using this chord progression. They're using a lot of major chords or minor chords, or they're using a lot of triad-based chords to create dissonance. For melodies, it seems like they're using kind of an Eastern Asian kind of scale, which gives it that East Asian flavor, almost like a Japanese or Chinese flavor. That's using major and minor scales. Then you get into rhythm. The time signature, it's using a 4/4 time signature, or it's using some kind of unusual time signature with 5 beats or 7 beats. And then the form structure, they really emphasize the chorus with a lot of heavy sounds versus the verse, which is more sparse. It's more, when you follow the video game, you can see how the action rises over the course of the video game, where the music gets bigger and more action packed over time. So these are just some examples of where you can really start digging deeper and deeper, and you're going to keep coming back in a spiral and getting, just digging deeper until you build that music knowledge, so that it can enhance your skill set and just give you that good perspective so you can continue building on your skills. Now, my second piece of practical advice for you relates to that last piece, which is the actually making the music. And when I say making music, I use that pretty broadly. That can involve composing music, that can involve performing, improvising, and then producing music too. And maybe you do all of those things when you create your own music, whether that's for a film or video game. Maybe you're writing popular music. Maybe you're just making music for your social media platform. If you're, creating music in some fashion through performance, composition, studio environment, that's making music. And you got to keep making music. You got to keep employing your skills. You got to treat it like a vocation, not an avocation. So basically, you got to treat it like a job and have a routine around it and block time to actually use your skills and practice them. And the best advice I can give you is just, it's quantity first, and that will lead to quality. And I like to talk about that a lot, and you'll see that in a lot of my other videos, but it really does, you got to throw a lot of mud at the wall to get what's good. And if you're just thinking about this stuff, the journaling is important, the knowledge is important, but you got to take it out of that journal and put it into practice so that you can really start improving and building that muscle and building that confidence so that you can really start succeeding no matter what your goals are in your music career. All right, we've made it to the final video, and I've got one last big question I want to ask you. I want to know what your goals are for your music making. Where do you want to take your music career? I know it can be a little daunting sometimes, but one of the first steps is to really define what that is. So in the comments below, I want to hear about what you want to do with your music career. What kind of music do you want to make? And then maybe how you're going to use these 5 essential elements of music to build that career. So tell me all about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your goals are. Thank you so much for making it through this entire video series with me. I hope you got some good value out of it. And if so, if you could just go ahead and smash that like button, I'd really appreciate it. And consider subscribing and hitting the little bell icon so you get notified every time I release new content just like this. All right, I will see you in the next video.